Indiana Fever preseason has officially come, and it has officially gone.
The Indiana Fever did finish the WNBA preseason undefeated.
Caitlin Clark is shooting from distances that shouldn't even be allowed on a basketball court, while Lexie Hull is emerging as the Fever's not-so-secret fourth-quarter weapon, one insider put it plainly. I think Caitlin Clark may have even increased her range. She is shooting the deep ones like they are nothing.
The Indiana Fever close out the preseason 3-0, victory against the Mystics, victory against the Brazilian national team, and another victory this afternoon against the Atlanta.
In their final preseason game, the Fever completed a perfect 3-win, 0-loss sweep, but not without drama, a worrying injury to a key player, and surprising comments from their Atlanta Dream opponents. From stunning performances to unexpected outcomes, here's the full story behind Indiana's perfect preseason finale at Atlanta. If you're excited for the season to start, comment, "I've got the Fever" down below. Let's go.
Watch the Fever, even when they're not at their best. One thing I can't help but think is that they're just going to run teams off the floor and destroy them with their firepower. They just have so many players that can beat you and can score. And, Duana Bonner didn't even start this game. Sophie Cunningham started in her place.
Did you know Caitlin Clark almost didn't play in the Fever's final preseason game just less than 24 hours before tip-off against the Atlanta Dream? Fever fans were glued to their phones, refreshing social media feeds for updates. The news shocked everyone. Clark had collided with a practice player during the team's final workout, hitting the same leg that was previously strained.
On a drill, and if you're looking what happens here, Caitlin Clark pulls up. Caitlin Clark pulls up immediately. And a lot of people are saying that it's not the.
Picture this moment: the Fever medical staff rushing to evaluate their star rookie, while the team's perfect preseason record hung in the balance, 2 wins, 0 losses. And now their star player was sitting on the sideline with an ice pack. Fans started wondering if this was a sign of things to come, if the pressure of professional basketball was already taking its toll on the team's medical staff. Worked through their assessments, while social media exploded with speculation. Would Clark miss her final preseason opportunity? Would this impact her availability for the regular season opener? The questions multiplied with each passing minute.
You just mentioned you've been limited in practice this week. Just how are you kind of working back from that leg injury?
Yeah, I think taking my time. I feel really good, honestly, and excited to get out there and play again tomorrow, work on things that we need to work on. And yeah, Maria's been great. Our medical staff has been really helpful. But I feel really good.
Then came the announcement that sent waves of relief through the Fever fan base. Clark was cleared to play. She wouldn't just participate, she'd start the game. The injury scare suddenly became a footnote rather than a headline.
There's no reason to overdo anything right now. It's been the beginning of the season. Still don't play here for another week, but the last 2 days have been really, really good for myself.
You know what started? What caused it to get her?
I don't. Probably just a little too much basketball. I think, I love being in the gym, but I think understanding when to be in the gym and, when to recover and things like that. So I think just finding a balance and obviously just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was nothing major or anything like that.
From the opening minutes, it was clear Clark wasn't holding anything back. She launched shots from distances that made defenders look completely helpless. Sports Illustrated WNBA analyst Robin Lundberg noticed something even more impressive, writing on X, "I think Caitlin Clark may have even increased her range. She is shooting the deep ones like they are nothing."
So second attempt, same spot, same result for Maya Caldwell. That's Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her first triple of.
Particular three-pointer from near the logo reminded fans of her iconic shot a week ago at Iowa. The Atlanta defenders could only watch as the ball arced high and dropped perfectly through the net. This wasn't just a player testing the waters of professional basketball. This was Caitlin Clark announcing her arrival by game's end. Clark had overcome the pregame injury concern to post an impressive stat line: 13.7 assists and 6 rebounds in just 23 minutes of play. Natasha Howard gets the bucket, step back triple. Del Mitchell to the rim. Music. Well, that's Ken Clark top of the key and drains her triple as the final buzzer sounded on the 81-76 victory over Atlanta. The Fever had accomplished something special, a perfect 3-win, 0-loss preseason sweep. What started with a moment of concern ended with rising expectations for what this team might achieve when the games really start to count. With a close game heading into the fourth quarter, an unexpected hero emerged for Indiana, and her name wasn't Caitlin Clark. The spotlight shifted to Lexie Hull, who had been quietly developing her game throughout the preseason and adjusting to her new role from the bench. Let's remember that last year Hull started the final stretch of the year and became a reliable offensive and defensive weapon during that stretch, even becoming the hottest three-point shooter in the league during that time. And now BG says she's rediscovered her love for the game, saying,
Of Natasha Howard gets the bucket. Step back triple. Kelsey Mitchell to the rim. Well, that's Caitlin Clark, top of the key, and drains her triple.
However, because of the new all-star free agent additions Paul has graciously started coming off the bench this season, there was something different about her during this game. There was a confidence in her step, a certainty in her movements that caught everyone's attention. This wasn't the same player we'd seen before. This was someone ready to take over.
And now BG says she's rediscovered her love for the game, saying Atlanta reminds me of home. I'm back in the South, and this was the best decision of my life.
She is completely fine, just needing rest, so we will not see her for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, we can't give out all our weapons.
Turnover as Matt Caldwell got a little too.
The Atlanta Dream kept pushing, threatening at every possession to hand the Fever their first preseason loss. The tension in the arena was building. Would Indiana's perfect record survive? That's when Hull took matters into her own hands. When Indiana needed scoring most, Hull delivered with remarkable efficiency. She found lanes through defenders that didn't seem to exist. She pulled up for mid-range jumpers with defenders in her face, like they weren't even there. One particularly impressive play saw her split two Dream defenders before finishing with a smooth layup at the rim. They're like, nah, shoot that thing when you open. Lexie Hull getting downhill finds the bucket and won, as this will be the largest lead for Indiana. Her impact went beyond just scoring. Hull's defensive intensity created havoc for Atlanta's offense, leading to turnovers and fast break opportunities. Her court awareness put teammates in perfect positions for easy buckets. The Dream simply had no answer for Hull's determined play down the stretch. After the game, coach Stephanie White revealed insights about Hull's development that explained everything we had just witnessed. When you accept your role as Lexie, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? White said, highlighting how Hull had embraced her responsibilities while continuing to expand her game.
I think more than anything, just being able to practice with our team. We're getting a lot of good reps in practice, and I think confidence comes from that. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice. And our team's super competitive, so every single day that we've had of training camp so far has felt pretty much game-like. Like we're all taking it very serious, and it starts in.
White pointed to the growth in Hull's creativity and the team's increasing trust in her decision-making. She's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that. The coach added, clearly pleased with Hull's evolution. For her part, Hull credited the competitive practice environment for her fourth quarter heroics. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps over and over again in practice. She explained her experience winning a championship in the unrivaled 3-on-3 league had also sharpened her defensive skills and one-on-one play.
Like, nah, shoot that thing when you open.
Lexie Hull getting downhill, finds the bucket and one, as this will be the largest lead for Indiana.
By the final buzzer, Hull had transformed from role player to game changer, scoring 11 of her 14 points in that crucial fourth quarter to secure the win. The official stats tell the story. Hull's scoring efficiency under pressure helped close out the game when the Fever needed it most. Her performance wasn't just impressive, it potentially changes the entire dynamic of the Fever's rotation heading into the regular season.
Playing with such a high level of confidence. You know, you saw that the second half of last season, her starting to grow into that. I think you saw it a lot in Unrivaled as well. It unlocked I think a little bit of creativity. You know, I think sometimes when you're a young player in this league, you know, when you accept your role, as Lexie does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like you still, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career.
With the emergence of Hall as a reliable clutch performer off the bench, the Fever suddenly looked much deeper than many expected. In just one game, Hall may have transformed from a key contributor to an exclamation point in Indiana's quest to make noise in the upcoming season. The game wasn't without its tense moments, including one that showed a side of Caitlin Clark fans always pray they don't see. Midway through the second quarter, Clark found herself at the center of attention for something other than her amazing shooting. She picked up a technical foul that revealed just how competitive she really is.
It's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything, we're a deep team, and I think everyone's really bought into trusting the process this season. You know, it might not start off super pretty, but we know that putting in the work, putting in, you know, trust into the coaching staff, trust in each other, that by the end of the season we'll be exactly where we want to be. So just excited, you know, with the progress we've made even over just 3.
Picture this: Clark attempts a bounce pass that gets intercepted by the Dream, leading to a quick fast break layup by Atlanta's Brianna Jones. Clark clearly thought there should have been a foul called on the play. Her frustration boiled over immediately, and she threw the ball against the stanchion of the hoop after Jones scored. The referee didn't hesitate. Technical foul on Clark, her first of the preseason. What happened next speaks volumes about the chemistry already forming on this Fever team. Sophie Cunningham, known for her own fiery competitiveness, quickly stepped in as the voice of reason as Clark continued arguing with the officials. Cunningham pulled her away from the situation before it could escalate further. She essentially played the role of veteran protector, making sure the star didn't talk herself into a more serious situation with the refs. Cunningham actually stepped on somebody's foot and turned her ankle and had to leave the game. Here's where things get interesting later on. After playing peacekeeper for Clark, Cunningham faced her own challenge in the third quarter. Cunningham went up for a rebound and landed awkwardly on Ryan Howard's foot. The moment she came down, you could see something was wrong. Cunningham fell to the court, then hopped to the Fever's bench, clearly in pain. The injury was later identified as a right ankle issue, and she was listed as
you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like you still, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career. So you want to be able to stretch and expand. And I think Lexie's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that, you know, running actions for her, you know, allowing her to decision make. Hell, I think in the Washington game, we had her playing some point. You know, so it's a tribute to the work that she's put in, the confidence that she's built with her discipline and work ethic in the off season. And you trust her on the floor. You trust her to make the right play and make the right.
Despite these moments of tension and concern, the game also featured remarkable displays of sportsmanship that remind us what makes certain teams special. Before and after the final buzzer, players from both teams shared genuine moments of respect. Hugs and conversations between competitors showed that fierce competition on the court doesn't prevent real connection off it. One particularly meaningful exchange caught on camera was between Clark and Brittney Griner. Though they barely shared court time during the game, the two stars embraced warmly afterward. Fans noticed and appreciated this moment, with one commenting, "Great respect from Clark and Griner." These small gestures matter in building the culture of the league. The technical foul moment revealed both Clark's intense competitive drive and the team's protective chemistry. We saw a player who cares deeply about winning and refuses to back down alongside veterans who know when to step in and guide that passion. Meanwhile, Cunningham's injury raised legitimate questions about her availability for the season opener against Chicago.
Cunningham actually stepped on somebody's foot and turned her ankle and had to leave.
These moments of drama and sportsmanship painted a complete picture of what makes the WNBA special. Fierce competition balanced with genuine respect. The Fever showed they have the fire needed to compete at the highest level, while still maintaining the class and sportsmanship that builds positive relationships. Across the league, fans saw not just talented individuals, but a team beginning to form an identity competitive, passionate, but also respectful of the game and their opponents. The preseason is over, and the Indiana Fever just put the entire WNBA on notice with their perfect 3-win, 0-loss record. But what does this flawless run actually tell us about what's coming? This isn't just about winning exhibition games. It's about glimpses of something special forming. In Indiana, way ahead of schedule, the chemistry we've seen between Clark Hull, Boston Mitchell, and the rest of the roster has looked almost effortless at times. The question now becomes whether this momentum survives first contact with the brutal reality of the regular season. Teams across the league have been studying film, particularly on Clark, creating specialized defensive schemes to disrupt her rhythm and limit her impact. Obviously, you want to.
Hopefully the Fever are fully healthy going into that game. Hopefully Sophie Cunningham is good to go in that game. I know she was seen in a walking boot afterwards, but that's typical. It clearly wasn't a serious injury, but it doesn't mean it's going to be healthy a week from today either.
The Fever's first test comes May 17th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse against the Chicago Sky, a nationally televised game on ABC that everyone's circling on their calendars. The Sky present immediate challenges with their defensive schemes, which will likely focus on denying Clark the ball and jumping screens to throw her off her game. There's also the uncertainty surrounding Sophie Cunningham's ankle injury from the Atlanta game, while Coach White shared that Cunningham herself said, "I'll be fine," and was already in the cold tub post-game. Her availability for the opener remains a question mark. Her attitude speaks volumes about this team's resilience, though.
I don't think so. She was in there getting in a cold tub, so she keeps saying, "I'll be fine," so I trust her.